Alright, what's up, yins guys? Time for another video. This video, I wasn't sure exactly how I wanted to approach this because this is a bunch of different shit rolled into one, and it's how on TV is a big part of it, how they'll use reverse psychology on it. And I think they do a lot of this shit on purpose too, because there's so many aspects or factors in this, so many facets of the truth. So they'll deliberately do it, and there'll be so much shit going on that literally they on purpose. So when you go to talk about it, you can look like you're contradicting yourself. You'd have to talk about this in layers and make it a long ass video. So I'm going to say, for example, what we're seeing on our TV news. I don't know about any of you guys' TV news. Any kind of things like juvenile detention centers being closed down, and the kids getting to be just carrying guns, and as long as they don't shoot anybody, doing all kind of shit, crazy vandalism, nothing to do with protests. Really, they were running around rampant, and the police saying their hands are tied, just letting them go. And I'll use an article, not to make this a long-ass video, but they'll say on the TV news their reason why the detention center got closed down, and they'll give you all the bureaucratic reasons on the fucking news, which everything is tied into formal bureaucracy, and they do that shit on purpose too. Yeah, they're hoping somebody, private company, will buy it. Oh, we don't know what to do. We closed the Schumann Detention Center for a bunch of reasons, which I'd have to use a whole video to talk about and speculate about and show you the article, right? That's how they get you. They'll tell you that, and okay, we closed it because of this. Now our problem is, tell you on a big news, we're trying to get somebody else to buy it. The reason why we can't open one. And, the kids are running around and they're getting all these stolen guns at the same time from these towns. How many fucking people are leaving? And let's talk about this as not even just one particular incident. There's a lot of shit like that going on in a lot of people's TV news similar to it. And meanwhile, you're getting these kids, so many people leaving these fucking guns in these cars. How many people there's really that many people leaving guns in cars, and these kids know to steal from the cars and get these guns and getting other things and other valuables too. What the fuck is going on with that too? I mean, you're taking the word for everything. I'm just trying to say, not to make it a long-ass video, you're taking the word of the news article in the news, and it looks a lot to me like one, I don't want to sound too much like the Fullerton Informer guy or whatever, Joe Rimbriano, or any other people that used to be on YouTube or on YouTube. But it looks to me like the deliberate destabilization and deliberate subversion and downsizing of degrading of a town. Maybe, you could speculate. Get a bunch of people who get tired of it and leave, and somebody can buy up the property real cheap. Subversion and the erosion of towns and the destabilization of towns and boroughs. Hey, that's how they did that with communism in some countries. A lot of your countries are, but and they use reverse psychology in there and tell you about it on the news. These kids are just and I saw this woman without her face in the camera. Kid sticking up his middle finger and just laughing in your face. He kicks their car and walking around shooting, doing all kind of shit, and the police letting them all out. And you got a mixture of, yes, there's corrupt police and there's good police both at the same time. And they'll get you this way where, yeah, we all know some cops are assholes, some are good too. And see, if you were to talk about the cops, they'll try to say, when you talk about these situations, okay, you said this and this, you're contradicting yourself. They get you that way. They'll put so much shit on the damn news. It takes like people like you and me, like a lot to go through it. And at the same time, where the fuck are these parents, these kids? And these kids, in a nutshell, these kids will keep. What's going to happen? Kids don't got no consequences, right? Oh, no town being destabilized, no place to put the kids, no consequences. A juvie hall or whatever the hell. A lot of them, they're going to get old enough and they're going to kill somebody or do this and that, whether they kill somebody or do some major shit, and they're going to get old enough to go in the prisons. And it's all like a bunch of reverse psychology. Yeah, and then then they'll create that scenario, right? The kids are going on laughing in people's faces, no consequences. The kids get older. Some of them end up in prison, or some of them become off limits to some of the police. Whether you would want to say some of the police are corrupt or good, there is order given. Whether you want to say any of the cops, say you want to give a theoretical, I don't want to call it fictitious, a theoretical, for the sake of the argument, say a police station, maybe 10 unknowing corrupt police and maybe 10 good ones that are trying to follow the law. The cops that follow the law are all, well, I can't do nothing about it, I'm not allowed to, it's a career ender for me. And then you got the corrupt cops are paid to, they know these particular kids or adults are off limits, nobody arrests them. And then the good cops will be like, no, I'm not allowed to arrest them, I don't know what to do. And who the fuck in their right mind, okay, whatever fucking excuse they have for closing any kind of a facility for these kids, no consequences. Oh, they don't want to find some place to put them? Because kids just being let out with no consequences, what's that going to do? It's going to cause, like I said. And there's another thing you want to put, talking in layers too. They don't all completely tell you. Oh yeah, you just don't have no place to put the kids, or in some places no place to put even older ones, and they let them out sooner or whatever the fuck people do. And then you hear talking in parentheses, you hear, oh, they want to get social workers, reform the criminal justice system, stop putting people in prison for a long period of time, and just quit putting them in prison. You hear people want to abolish prisons. That sounds like communism. And another layer to this, I'm saying too, what the popular reason they tell you on the news, just example, the juvenile detention center. Maybe too, mixed in there, people, hands in the cookie jar, they don't got the money to run a juvenile detention center. So you're hearing the articles, you're taking their word for the articles, reason why, we closed this juvenile detention center, right? And then, we got somebody looking into buy it, but right now we can't do nothing, so the cops got to let these kids go, even, they got caught with stolen guns. And at the same time, you wonder where the fuck all these cars are being unlocked for these people to get guns, whether it's kids or adults. That's being done on purpose by some damn people too. There's a point. I know people make mistakes with legal firearms. Don't get me wrong, they shouldn't. Maybe one mistake, people know you got a gun, but I hate to tell you this, but in a lot of cases, when there's just so many people, a car conveniently unlocked. I mean, I don't want to get nobody in trouble for a simple mistake, mistakes, but don't get me wrong, but in a lot of cases, some of these people that guns conveniently left in cars to get stolen, you got to wonder if some of these people should get investigated too. Well, so many guns left in cars to get stolen, so close together, you got to wonder, somebody says, oh, takes money and I'll leave this gun, wink wink, it got stolen, you know what I'm saying? But, you got a story about a juvenile detention center getting shut down and all that stuff, I'm saying repeatedly. Oh, and they don't want to tell you right away they don't got enough of revenue to run it, you know what I mean, too. So part of it is these crooked people, they're stealing money. You get people, they drag their feet investigating people, get indicted for stealing from all kind of institutions, school districts, treasurers getting in trouble eventually for stealing too much money or whatever. So people are fucking stealing the money. The one, I mean, I'm talking about only the ones we know that were caught. And they're making all these excuses. One of it, maybe they don't got the fucking money to run it. Well, that's scary in any district. Anything that costs money to put people in jail or kids, adults in jail, it costs money. You got to keep taxes going, and you got to have enough of people paying taxes. And another part of if you got this far in this video too, like reverse psychology too. And I don't want to make the video too long, but you can take it back to before I was born, 70s and then 80s and everything. Insane asylums, mental hospitals, there are mentally unstable people, and some of them are created from childhood. They're deliberately groomed and created on purpose. So, okay, you get some of these kids that no consequences, they should have places to put them, and adults, consequences, go into jail, right? And you got people screaming for now to try to change that. Oh, and the reverse psychology part, right? They doing all this shit on purpose. Maybe they're getting you to, so you scream to open up all the jails, open the insane asylums, right? You're damned either way. And it costs, of course, it costs money. You know, it's a big business at the same time. And, you know, a couple people like maybe the Joe Imbriano Full Informer, other people that used to be on YouTube that got canceled from YouTube are kind of right. When it becomes big business, okay, you talk about like 70s and part of the 80s. Man, yeah, it was, man, they can 302 you for stupid shit when they needed to fill those mental hospitals. Now you're seeing all YouTube videos of these places, big buildings that all abandoned. You know, you got government finances them, you know what I mean, too. But then when there's a point, okay, when it was big business back in the 70s, 80s, all these mental hospitals, you could 302 damn near anybody you feel like it. Fill them up, right? Whatever reason, the funding they were getting, okay, the Oasis dries up, whatever popular reason. And you don't even think for 1 minute, you know, say the insane asylums and all that stuff, you want to look all that shit up. Oh yeah, finally got closed down because it was exposed for all the human rights violations. No, they never, if they closed anything down for human rights violations, not because, they did not do it because they cared about any human rights violations, right, that were going on for years. You want to look up all this list? No, the Oasis just dried up, somebody funding it, you know, it was big business, you know what I'm saying? And there's a point where if you want to take a country they're trying to convert to communism, right? Get you screaming to reopen, build more insane asylums, jails for these kids. And you know, for the people that did shit that should be put there, people that are a danger, a known danger, yeah, should be kept away. And you got all these people, right, that are like, whatever, post-traumatic stress disorder, go out and just shoot somebody for no reason. They want you to get you scared of those people. Then they want you to be all scared. And then they want these other scared people to take away one guy I was watching YouTube saying a list of these people. These are the reasons why gun owners should actually have a gun. Legal gun owners, even though there's some people that do bad things once in a while, but yet you want to put in parentheses too. What the late George Carlin said in an entire YouTube video you can still watch. Say if we lost electricity, everybody in every insane asylum, prison, the police won't be able to do anything. Everything will be out, and you'll just have all kind of psychopaths all over the place. Like George Carlin said, come to your house. Oh, you got any beer? Any women? You know. You know how that goes. I like the way he it's kind of creepy, even though he's a comedian. He was kind of being serious. It's kind of creepy the way he said. I mean, I'm putting all that in a nutshell. They want to reverse psychology. They want to get you screaming to open up some of these places. You know what I mean? And oh yeah, they want to open up these places for. They want to let all these people deliberately run rampant. You know, deteriorate towns and destabilize them, and maybe destroy the self-esteem of all the good people, and then forbid the good people from defending themselves. Oh, and they want to make out. what I'm saying, if you got this far in this, about kids, if you got this far in this video, where they want to get people, right? The people that are legally had enough, there's a lot of legal ramifications if you got to shoot a gun or bludgeon somebody in your house with a lamp. What they're getting people now, too, is deliberately getting these kids just to run ragged, and keep letting them back out. And then before you know it, the kid's going to break in somebody's house and do something. Try to murder or rape some people, or older people. Guy might beat him with a lamp. Oh, and then a kid gets shot or killed, right? And the kid ain't quite 18 yet. Demonize the damn homeowner, right? Just start using the news media to demonize the homeowner when they already destabilized the fucking town already, right? Police, whatever reason, I told you, either not allowed to do anything or no place to put these kids. And they were fucking, they're egging what they do, and they're egging the kids on to do all this bad shit to start with. No consequences. You got people in the shadows putting the shit in kids' heads. I list a bunch of stuff that you'd have to, a whole YouTube video to talk about that in layers, you know what I'm saying? And it's just so damn much shit that's all they get you. It's just so fucking much shit that when you go to talk about it like I'm doing now, so you're a critic will go, oh, you're contradicting yourself. Well, it's just so damn much shit in layers. And then before you know it, you have people screaming for like more jails, more this and that. And I'm partial to what Fullerton, former guy Joe Imbriano was saying. Oh yeah, they'll reopen them, right? And they'll start throwing you in them because they'll forbid you from defending yourself or doing anything about anything. Create a breaking point for some of these homeowners, you know what I mean? And then people that have to go to court and all that shit, to afford a fancy lawyer. You see where all this is going? Deliberately get people to egg these kids on to be confused about what gender they are, and deliberately confound and confuse what a biological male or female. Get these kids, or even in some cases make it destroy their self-esteem or make it hip to identify as another gender or whatever. Give them genderly confused or confused out of whatever you want to, fancy words you want to call it. And then you get like we had, that was the former governor of Pennsylvania deliberately, puts head of the state health department, some old man dressed as a woman that used to be on TV telling us repetitive crap, how our lives are going to be about the pandemic, and then later our president puts that same cross-dressing old man head of our federal health department. Meanwhile, that same, I said a video about this too, that former governor Wolf too, what he did too, another thing which affects, if you got this far in this video, relevant now. Get people to want the legalization of all drugs, right? Get them on every single antidepressant there, not knocking anybody that, if they need help, rather than do violent or criminal things, yeah, definitely. But, getting people to, every single person, to have some kind of crisis so they can be on these meds. It's big business, big pharma, right? And somebody making a lot of money off these illegal drugs these kids are buying, and people, and they know who they're selling them to the kids. Some of these people, their buddies, these politicians, these people getting in these seats, their relatives are regulating and selling these drugs. So that's why a lot of these drug dealers are off limits. They throw some under the bus eventually, right? I think we still have there's still a conflict inside our country. There's still some good people there, and I think there is a pull, if you will. It's not totally over yet, but you get reverse psychology, right? These people know their buddies are like with the opiates. They indict these doctors now because they have to throw somebody out of the bus. Like, I remember seeing the president of the Future of Freedom Foundation actually was talking about this too, that the war on drugs, but yet the people that create the war on drugs, it's reverse psychology. They're the ones that create the war on drugs is the biggest purveyors of the drugs. That's how they get you. You get somebody, one of our ex-governor, for example, uh, couple times during his time as in the governor's seat, a budget stalemate, right? But creates his theatrical fake empathy after conveniently right when he got done saying there was a budget stalemate, takes a big bunch of money out of the budget just to spend a whole bunch on Narcan while he was still. Hey, wait a minute! I thought that there was a big budget stalemate and he wasn't going anywhere. Yeah, they go create a theatrical thing on TV with fake theatrical empathy, right? Hurry up, just without question after a budget stalemate. Throw some Narcan out there, pretend like they care. You know the ones that do that, they ain't doing that because they care about anybody dying. They doing that to distract you and reverse psychology, right? Because they know some of their buddies and criminal friends were behind, making that money, off the drugs, taking protection money from a lot of the drug dealers that people were not allowed to arrest. Mixture of good cops and corrupt cops. If you want to say, like I said, for maybe sake of argument, say 20 or 30 good cops, 20 or 30 bad cops in a police station. Some of them, corruption, they're taking the bribes, right? And then you got the ones you want to call better cops. We'll give you the answer. One side of the cops will go like, I don't know. And then they're taking bribes, right? Go act like, I don't know. And then the other better cops will be like, oh, we're not allowed to arrest them. You know what I mean? So the biggest purveyors of the drugs are the ones that are the quickest to pretend theatrically, a little theatrical thing on TV. I care about lives. Let's just take right off the budget, worry about the budget later, and put a bunch of Narcan out there. Then you get everybody and other people in government, president too. Oh, we got to throw more Narcan out there. It's like the late George Carlin said, more money to their criminal friends. And I could go on and on about that. And, you know damn well that, the ones that are wanting to throw whip the most money out of Narcan, hey, it ain't out of their pocket. Hey, the taxpayers are already on the hook for that, generate. They created, everything they do that they whip right out inflates the currency, creates a massive debt to infinity, that's another long-ass YouTube video, right? Reverse psychology, the ones that are throwing out all that money in Narcan, it's not really our money, we can do theatrical empathy, and yet they're the biggest purveyors of the drugs. They're just whip out a bunch of money for Narcan because to hide their reverse psychology, to put themselves in a higher, to appear to be in a higher moral frame of mind, and actually they're the biggest purveyors of the drugs, just to cover up their bullshit, you know what I mean? Yeah, and you get a bunch of people, they might be good. After all, you got prosecutors and investigators that advance themselves by busting more people too. Like I said, there are some ones that are off limits, and the ones that get busted are probably the ones that get thrown off the bus. So, okay, we'll give somebody a few drug busts, put them in prison, another power vacuum somewhere, you know what I mean? When you see about all these busts, and there are a lot of them, it's just the ones that they throw under the bus, or the ones that don't pay their protection money, that are sell out their drug dealers without paying their protection money. Or you could say some of the cops can be the corrupt ones can be just the ones that have access to the corrupt cops, or just paramilitary goon squads to get rid of the competition, or don't even get the narcotics enforcement with the big guns or ATF or whatever. Yeah, they'll even hand some other drug gang some guns, pretend like they're not, and get these drug dealers right to go after and do drive-by shootings to kill the competition. Yeah, you'll see about it on the news. You hear all these stories, right? These corrupt people are giving these gangs, supplying them with the guns and pretending like, we don't know why they're having a shootout. These ones got killed, you know. Um, yeah, it's like Joe Imbriano and Fullerton Informer went as far as saying, yeah, they're hiding them in train cars. You know, train tracks go down this way. Tell these gangs where these guns are. And I remember in the 1980s, is I had people I knew that were talking about it as a teenager. Before we had this internet, they were talking about people were actually giving these gangs, you know, even in these California, deliberately arming them and not telling anybody so that they can kind of annihilate these other ones. Did it as an experiment and it didn't go very well. It was just, some people say that shit didn't go, you know, they were doing that shit too. You get, they don't, you know, get the paramilitary goon squads to get the ones that don't pay their protection money, or they'll supply these particular gangs that are off limits to arrest or whatever, supply them with some guns in a discreet manner, and we'll look the other way and tell them to go shoot him, you know what I mean? And then you're a conspiracy theorist if you say anything of such. But a lot of that shit sounds like a lot of shit that's in movies and novels, but, you know, you gotta wonder where people get a lot of this information, you know what I'm saying? But you gotta look around. It's being done on purpose anyway. Do you end this video? It's like, they're doing it on purpose to destabilize towns. They don't like good people that got nice houses that have self-esteem and reason they can somebody else could want to buy up the property and turn into slums. You know, communist countries have a lot of slumlords. You know what I mean? In slums, the slums will be owned by the government. Think about it. You know, destabilize a town, and then part of it too. Part of the destabilization is killing the funds, so you can't run a particular facility to keep the people that should be in jail in there too. And then they're like, and this too, reverse psychology, get you screaming to have more insane asylums and jails built. But when you go screaming for it, guess what? They're looking to already looking to make these every single hoodlum and lowlife victims and turn you into a criminal. Get you screaming to build more jails and mental hospitals for all the mentally ill crazies out there, and meanwhile, you screaming for it, and yeah, you know, they might even put you there, you know, because they're sticking up for all the lowlifes now and trying to say, oh, we need to stop arresting them and put them away now because it's too whatever you want to call it, right?